Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to compare these two Sinns. Now they're both 556 models. Now this one here is the 556A and this one is the anniversary 556. Now the actual 556 started out, I think Sinn first put it in production around about 2008, and it was a big seller for Sinn. They've always done quite well on it. They've done a number of variations of different dials and so forth, and people have always seemed to really like these watches. Now dimension wise, they're 38.5, they're only 11mm thick, and they've got a lug to lug size, I think it's around about 46mm, and the bracelet is a 20mm. Now, let's start off with 556A. This, obviously, you can see the big difference here. It has the 12369, so a different dial variation. And it also has a date window down here. I find this is just a great, practical, everyday watch. It doesn't get in the way under your shirt or anything, or, anything like it. It doesn't get snagged up so easy. And I think these are just absolutely fantastic watches. Now, both watches are 200-meter water resistant, which is really good for a little 11mm thick watch. Now the big difference with the anniversary model is it doesn't have a date, and it has these applied markers on there, so it's a little bit more, I would say, a dressier version of the 556, and it has this kind of rhodium finished dial, I believe. This one, the anniversary model, came out in 2016, and it basically celebrated 55 years of Sinn. So I think Sinn first started in, as a dial should say, 1961. So this was their anniversary. Now, even though they kind of look the same, beating at the heart of these are two different movements, albeit, again, that they do look very, very similar. In the back of this one, you have the ETA 2824, which is a well-proven workhorse. And in here we have the Solita SW200. In essence, they are the same movements. Just this is the clone of this. So it depends on which movement you actually like. I prefer having the ETA movement, as I think it's the original. I've never had a problem with this movement. A Solita SW200 I did have a problem with once, but this one seems to be absolutely rock solid. And timekeeping is excellent on both watches. This one's around about just over a second a day, so very, very impressive. Now, as you can see, both watches have got these different bracelets on. Now, these are interchangeable with each model, so it'd be no problem for me to switch this over. I'll probably drop a picture in of the two sporting their different bracelets. This is the fine link, and again, I would put this down as a more dressier variation of the two bracelets. They are screws, so screwed in here. Now, being that it's this type and it's got a butterfly, you don't have any micro adjustment, but what you do have is half links. Like, I know some people say, well, that's ridiculous, how can I change it? But please don't think this is just a Sinn thing. Most butterfly clasps don't have any micro adjustment when it's actually a solid bracelet. So people like Omega and all that, they've got exactly the same system and no adjustment, but it looks and feels so comfortable. Now, this one here has the standard pattern H-link style, which Sinn is most known for. Now, instead of screws on this one, you do have the Allen keys there, and this one looks a little bit more tool watch kind of look about it. It looks at kind of a bit more chunkier. And then you've got the typical clasp with the dive link extension and 3 levels of micro adjustment, machine center, very solid, no problem at all. Now these watches, when this one first came out, I believe they were around about, in the UK, £1,200, £1,150, give or take. You might be able to find a little bit of a deal. This one was a fraction more. It came on a brown, like a tan leather strap, which I really wasn't fond of. I'm not keen on leather straps which taper. I prefer thick, more rustic kind of leather straps, but it also came with this, and so I sold the leather and kept this. So when it comes to Loom, both watches have got Loom, albeit not on the second hand, which I can understand with this one because it does have a mirror finish second hand. But on this one, I have got no idea why they didn't put a loomed finish on there, because it's white and matches the rest of the hands and they're all loomed. So I really cannot say for the life of me why it hasn't got any loom on the second hand. This one I can completely understand. This dial on here, I love the stark contrast between the black and white. I think it is such a highly legible dial, whereas the anniversary model, now, obviously it's, easy to read, but it is kind of a bit more of a step up really with those applied markers. And on certain angles, I'd say face on, it doesn't look amazing the colour, but when you catch it at the right angle, you can see just when the applied markers just seem to stand proud and they just look fantastic. I really do like that dial as well. So this one has loom, albeit not to the same degree as this one. This one has got better loom. Now, both watches have got screw down crown. Being a 200 meter water resistant watch, you would expect that. Both sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating. And really, they're just pretty bomb-proof watches. Let me put it on my wrist, both of them, so you get an idea. I'm wearing another German watch at the moment, a Larco. Let me take that off. A Larco Memmingen. Now, if I put this one on my wrist, there you go. My wrist size is a little bit over 7 inches, and being that it's only a 38.5mm case size, I think it looks absolutely spot on. Now, you've really not got to let those numbers kind of deceive you. When I put this side by side with my Breitling Colt 41, which is obviously, as the name says, a 41mm, they look exactly the same. Well, if anything, I'd say this looks a little bit bigger because the dial is so much bigger. So you can see here, butterfly, you have to press both to release it. If you press one, it will not release. So it is solid, and there's that one. So I don't know, which one out of the two do you guys prefer? Now, you can pick these up secondhand round about, in the UK, 750, 850, well, 750 and above. I do remember when you used to be able to get them for like 500 quid. But which one would you go for? This one here, being that it was the anniversary model, they only sold 1,000 of them. And you can see on the back there where it actually states the number. Mine is number 25 of 1,000, so they are harder to get hold of. This is still a current model and you can get hold of one, no problem at all. But out of interest, which would you go for? Just remember, if it's a bracelet, you can swap them over, so don't let the bracelet, sway. Which one would you go for out of the two? Let us know in the comments below. Okay, stay safe out there and I'll see you at the next review. Bye.